Morning. It is breakfast with Ben and Cheryl. Weekly food for thought. Cheryl, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. I think we're just so yellow, your shirt.
I know my shirt is so blue. I apologize. I wonder if we take it up a little bit. Hey, that worked a little bit. How are you guys doing this morning? I'm fired up.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm
There we go. Is that better?
Yes. I'm fired up. I'm ready for. I feel like I've kind of had some downtime a little bit in terms of back to some sort of normalcy routine. We talked about having that routine, and I feel like I'm getting back into that way. And
I wouldn't call it the downtime.
No, downtime was a little bit more overzealous than
it was the. Yeah, it was hard to stick to our routine because things were very
changing.
Go.
And it wasn't here. We weren't just home.
Yeah.
So, this week we are talking about finding your value.
Yes, we brought that up last week.
Cheryl had just in conversation talked about how appreciating people for what they do and what value they bring, regardless of the trade, artisans, creatives, professionals, all of that, understanding that there's value there. But something I feel like everybody struggles with at every level is, am I
undercharging, overcharging? What do I charge people? What am I worth? What's my value?
How do I find that number or that thing that sets me apart? So you found a quote for us to kind of theme the show, and I want you to...
Yes, try not to become a person of success, but rather try to become a person of value. Albert Einstein.
Well, it's true.
The people who... I appreciate sales. I mean, it takes sales to sell and all that stuff, but yeah, employed, unemployed.
That's right. I mean, that's sales.
Which is great and fantastic, but people are sold to in different ways. People see value in different things.
Yep.
One instance, I was speaking with somebody who was looking for a quote last week and gave him a quote and started asking a bunch of questions. And
well, back up.
Okay.
Before you gave that quote, you were asking the question.
Well, right, because I had to figure out what the project entailed, what was all involved, how much was already done, locations and all that kind of stuff. Like that all plays into finding that value.
Well, and that's something
Personal value.
And in business and sense too, because I've kind of learned that the hard way, especially when you're meeting a new client or a potential step up. You're like, okay, I really want to work with them. I'm really excited about this opportunity, and you run in there and you just give them a price without asking the questions.
Right.
And slow down. Like, it's okay to take, depending on your trade.
Yes.
It's okay to take a day or two to figure out. And, if you need to follow up and ask a couple more questions, they're going to see that as, okay, they're really doing their homework versus they're just trying to get a price and get some work.
Right.
So not to derail us too much there, but I think asking those questions is super critical. And it's learning to ask the right questions.
Yes. Good morning, Michael, and good morning, Jody.
Hey,
say hi.
What's going on, guys? Glad to have you guys joining us. Will you let us know how
Is there somebody else
the live stream is doing? Because it seems like it's choppy, and I'm doing this a lot. Chop. But let me know how that is.
We're kind of orange right now.
Okay.
But anyway.
So, knowing your value, how do you find that number? So I was doing some research, and I stumbled across this 4 steps to knowing your value, and I thought it kind of broke it down pretty well. And number 1 is calculate your monthly revenue needed, and this is, if you're going on a new venture or starting a side business, what do you need to make from that? And factor in those things like taxes, like insurance, like licensing, like software upgrades. Because
Yep.
when
monthly subscriptions.
when you get to that point, it's going to be more efficient for you to be spending that money on a faster machine that takes you a quarter of the time.
Right.
If you're sitting there waiting for something to load.
Right.
And so I think Jody Brown, she had recently went through that tech struggle, and we kind of stressed and talked about
Yes.
that. So finding those things and being realistic, because if you're a business and you want to make this thing real, you've got to factor in those costs.
You have to put a number on it. You have to have as important as your passion and your purpose and all this stuff is, money is a good part of it too, and you do need to have a number. You do have to have a goal in mind. Write it down, because that is key. It makes it completely real and very overwhelming and scary.
Sorry, Jody Brown. No, we chatted about it. I didn't save your butt. I think we worked through that one together, but I appreciate it. But writing that number down
yes.
and holding it accountable.
Writing that number down makes it completely real, and it does hold you accountable, and it's terrifying. Last year we wrote our number down for the first time, and it happens.
But it was funny. One thing we kind of have running around, I mean, because it's most of the time it's Cheryl and I, and
Yes.
we're a business. You
I'm a
can't
business.
you can't talk to me that way. I'm a business.
Because
You have that value. You have that number written down.
yes, but before you do, it goes back to that value. How much do you value yourself? How much do you value your time without having people start to take advantage of you?
Yes.
And that's a lesson that we've been on both sides of the coin. It's, early on in business, you rely on other people that are, trying to make it or trying to find their way, because you just want to work with other people, but they're also struggling the same way you are. So it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what's appropriate. I don't know what's professional. I don't know what to do. So, things are all crazy and different until you start to value yourself and see your self-worth. Do you start to, okay, I need to take a step back a second, reevaluate some things, have those difficult conversations that you've enabled, friendly work for, that kind of stuff. And I know I'm going down a rabbit hole that you probably
Oh no, I love when she goes down the rabbit hole. The deeper, the better. But no, that takes us to number 2. So number 1, we've got to calculate your revenue, your needed revenue.
Yes.
Search for a cost of doing business calculator. You input the numbers, and it will. This is your daily value. This is what you need to do. So, moving on to number 2.
Where'd our faces go?
They're still right here. Do the math. Is the value there?
Yes.
And that's exactly right, because you need to be realistic with that price point.
Right.
If you're just starting out and you're trying to charge the same rates as the guy that's been doing it for 10 years, he's probably got the more business knowledge, professional, of the trade.
Yep, and the systems and processes to make it go smooth.
And that's kind of where you've got to take, that little red line, okay, minus $10 because I still need to get the better software to get that point.
Right.
But what's that value? And if you're finding that what you need is your needed revenue is not meeting what you need to charge, then you need to increase your value.
Yes.
And not start docking your prices. Again, I'm not saying go and be the same price as the guy that's been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah.
But
you need to become more.
What are you doing but without sacrificing and giving away your value?
Right.
And what can you do to help the customer more, help the client more? Those are the things that really people will pay for in that sense of added additional value. For example, with a photographer, maybe you provide them with an additional set of copies, two sets of resolutions, something that you can set up a process for, not too much. It still takes your time and knowledge to operate that software to do it, but it's a value that you can pass on to that client that might separate you from someone else.
Yeah.
So
Making it a better experience.
absolutely.
A lot of people don't know what you know, and that's why they're hiring you or coming to you and that kind of stuff. And that expertise and that knowledge and that education, that investment into your own education, that's worth value. That is worth something. And that's, you may not have the degree on the wall, but I don't have a degree on the wall. I'm all experience taught. I've gone to classes, I've done all that, I've taken some college credits, but it's becoming a person of value via experience. And
number 3, practice. And that's, Jody Brown, potential customers can smell your desperation.
And they can.
They
You
can.
don't realize
it's
it until
stinky. It's musty.
until you get up out of that a little bit. You don't know it. You don't see it. You don't.
Well, and to go on to that point, we'll go back to practice. With the smell of the desperation, if it's not a good fit both ways, you're there to kind of interview them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they don't align with what your values are as a business.
But I really need that money.
But every time I've said that, I end up doing more work that I'm unhappy with. That's a longer process. And the customer, I feel like can feel that,
right?
And they feel that tension of just not putting your whole heart into it because it's not a good relationship. So it's okay to say no.
But it's becoming a person of value and referring them to somebody else who you think would be a really good fit for them.
Yep.
And that's where you take it back to where it's networking with your competition, where it's, what is it? Something over competition. Where you
I got nothing for you.
I can't. Oh, Tuesdays together. Whatever they say, I can't remember. Dang it. But where you collaboration over competition or something like that, where you connect with other people in your trade and in your industry, because you will all have different services and different lines of products or different things.
Well, and it's more so even now there's smaller businesses in terms of more niche specific businesses.
Yes.
So having that value and finding people that can take care of your customer and unfortunately we've had that experience where people go and try to poach and they try to go get a customer that and that's unfortunate, but it does happen. But that's not the majority.
Yeah,
you build,
it's rare.
It is. And I've talked to people that have been in business for 10, 15 years and 20 and 30 years, and it seems those people that do those things usually don't find themselves in business very long.
Yeah.
So
they phase themselves out.
Get us back. Oh, community.
Oh.
Megberth, thank you so much. I feel like you should get a mic emoji to just drop it. But number 3, practice. It's well, and that rolls right into, I feel, number 4, having confidence and stop doubting.
Let me just sink down.
It was funny. I had a one-to-one with a local business owner that's in one of my referral networks, and we during this weekly meeting we have to do a 60-second presentation and we talk about our business, and she said, like, every week I'm so nervous, and I was like, I've been coming here for 4 years and I'm still nervous every time, and I still practice every time.
Yep, and even a couple days. What am I going to do for my 60 seconds, Cheryl? What's going on for my 60 seconds, Cheryl?
And then Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm walking around the house just. Yep. But you got to practice. You got to get comfortable in your skin. You got to know what you're doing and what value you're providing.
And what happens if you don't practice, though?
Oh man, I can just feel it. Like it's just. To go back to what Jody said, it's just that, not desperation, but you're just like, you didn't deliver the message.
Yeah, you failed yourself. You didn't set yourself up for success.
Failure to prepare is preparing yourself for failure.
Oh, look. He's getting it.
Thanks. And it's so true. As is a younger guy. I was like, I don't need a calendar. I don't need to practice this stuff. I can just, man.
I don't need processes. I'm an adult. I don't need a schedule.
I have a penguin mug. I can do what I want. All right. So,
what also goes into the whole confidence in the doubt thing and finding your value, I did want to mention, was you have to learn to value yourself.
yes.
That's a big one for me that I struggled with a lot, but it goes into the desperation. It just, the woe is me, the negative speak. And until you acknowledge and you realize how you speak to yourself internally, imagine yourself saying those same words to you, to your partner or to your friend or somebody else that you care about. Would you ever say those things? And it's like, the stuff that I would say to myself, I didn't value myself and my worth for the longest time. And so when you do start to figure out what matters and realize what matters and get over yourself and get out of the vanity side, because it's almost, I'm too vain. I'm don't want to do this because
I'm the vanity side of it. I'm embarrassed. I don't want to look silly.
And that's still vain. That's,
yeah. Oh no, and that's
still,
yeah.
And that's a shitty realization. I'm sorry, it's early in the morning, but it was a big one for me.
Yeah.
It was and until I started valuing myself and valuing my own self-worth and the knowledge and the expertise that I do have and that I do bring, has my confidence come out and I'm able to speak more confidently about those things. Yes, you become what you think.
That's absolutely true. And knowing when you know that value and you know you're like, no, I'm a business, or no, I'm a professional. It's a lot easier to rebut them or follow up with them, or have that conversation.
Yes,
it's not just a yes or no.
Yes.
And one thing you talking about value and it took you a while to realize that. And one thing that we would say a lot when we first started our business was, oh, that'll just take me 5 minutes. I can do that real quick.
Right.
But that 5 minutes is that's your time. And I'm not that.
How long did it take you to be able to do that in 5 minutes?
How many hours of learning that trade, learning that software, having meetings, doing research, practicing, to be able to do that in 5 minutes. And now kind of remove yourself and say, okay, if they walked in and had no idea what I did and I just handed them the keys to my store, could they do that in 5 minutes?
Yep.
And
it's like photos.
Yep.
Oh, can you just pop in there and take this photo real quick? I just changed out the bedding in this bedroom or something. And it's just real quick. It's not really quick. There's a lot that goes into making those photos look really good. And that all becomes with the expertise, and they can't replicate that. And they know that, and that's why they're hiring you. But to allow them, to give them permission to take your time and take that skill away from you for a real quick something, that's devaluing your own skills. And
now I find that
I'm losing my train.
Well, I find that if they ask to do something real quick, and I understand emergencies happen, and depending on the profession, you got to hop in there real quick. But like, to go back to photography, we have a workflow and a process for that. So, to throw photos in there that need to be processed out real quick, or additional copies that need to be provided this way,
or it's in a whole nother part of town that's not in our
I meant just internally, like either. Processing. We can't just process them.
Yes.
Anyway, let's get.
Yes.
We're all right.
Oh man.
Yes. We've had a lot of questions and great comments, guys. I love it. And I'm very excited because this Thursday...
Oh, yes. This
Yes.
falls into our Thursday.
Yes. Thursday, November 3rd at 8 p.m. Central. I know that's a little bit later, but we talked about this last week. We are doing a Facebook Live Q&A. We are shooting for an hour.
Yes.
And
or longer. If it's going, it's going.
It's going. We're unwinding after the day.
Yes.
We know that's a great time everything's kind of calming down, at least for us. And so these questions, these comments, we want to have more time to break them down and chat with you guys. And
yes.
Facebook Live will give us an opportunity to do that. We'll have another computer set up so we can kind of be chatting as well as following up. Thank you guys so much for all the comments, and I love it.
We're going to follow up with all of them here in a second.
Boop, bop, bop, beep, boop, bop. Facebook.com/MurphyWerx. Thursday, November 3rd at 8 p.m. Central.
Yes.
We'll be putting links on Instagram, Google+, as well. Make sure you guys follow us on Snapchat because we'll be doing some behind-the-scenes stuff, getting ready.
Instagram also.
Yeah. Always looking forward to it. I'm really excited about the Q&A.
I am too. There's a lot that goes into running your own business, not just as yourself, but as a couple too. Mm-hmm. And then how to switch.
In fact, do me a favor, guys. I want to talk to other couples that own businesses together. I want to know what their struggles are. Are they just starting out? Have they been in business for years?
Yes.
We want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Because
that would be great.
It's one thing to work with them all the time, but then you live with them and work with them, and then they're always there, and I'll find you.
Okay.
All right, guys. Fantastic episode.
Yes.
I loved it. You guys have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hopefully we'll see you Thursday.
Thursday evening, we will see you there for Winding Down.
Unwind.
Okay.
With Ben and Cheryl.
All right, guys. Have a fantastic week. We will talk to you soon.